Alright, let's do a player health and damage and a widget. Okay, so in your player, this is where your variable should be held. Okay. So we can do health, and what I like doing is also a max health, and I'll show you why. So let's make these floats. And also, a lot of people like doing from 0 to 1 values. I don't. I like 0 to 100 and so on. I like that larger scale rather than working with the decimals. But there's a reason why I like using floats as well. So we're gonna show that. All right, so let's set up our damage. So we'll do any damage, and basically what happens is there's a node called apply damage. Okay, and if the damaged actor is equal to the player, if we call this in the AI, when they swing their sword, it does apply damage, and the damaged actor happens to be the character, it will call this event here. Okay. So what we can do is get our health, set our health, and then do a subtract. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Yeah, this here, and we want to subtract the amount of damage and pop it in there. Okay. And then I also like doing a check health event, and basically this will be just a branch, and we'll see if this is less than or equal to 0, and then this is where you would call your death event. If you set the collision to ragdoll, and simulate physics or whatever, this would be your death event. And then right here, you could do check health. And this way, your check health isn't on a tick event. It's actually on the actual damage event itself. So only checks when it needs to, right? So it's not continuously checking this over and over again, every frame or something like that. This is much more efficient. Okay. So we should be good there. And and I also want to create like a dummy event to apply damage. And I'm just going to set damage to self so it knows where to look. And I'm going to set this to like 10. Okay. So every time I hit T, I'll deal damage to myself, essentially. And it'll call this event here, which will do all that stuff. Alright, so let's create our UI, user interface, widget. Open that up. And now, panel, I want an overlay, a progress bar, and a text. Okay. I'm going to make this loop longer, pull it down, grab my progress bar and fill it. This I'm going to set to like HP. And my progress bar, I want to be red. Okay, and now I also want to set this as a variable. Compile, save, and go into our event graph. Okay, so now I want to do an event. Set HP, I guess. I'm gonna get our health bar, go to set percent here, and let's make a player variable. And there's a really cool thing you could do. So basically I want to set this to whoever my character is. So if you have a first person character, that's what that would be set as. And we want to do instance editable and expose on spawn. Okay. Now we'll get that. Get health. We also want to get max health. Oops. And we'll divide these. And the reason we're dividing these is because the percentage works. This works between 0 and a 1. Okay, 1 is totally full, 0 is empty. So if our max health is 100 and our regular health is 90, if you divide those, it's 0.9. Right? So 10 health is missing, right? But if this is, whatever our max health is, if this is, let's say, 1,000 and this is 800, this will still be 0.8. So it allows us to scale our max health to whatever value we want, and the progress bar will always work. Okay, which is really cool. And I also want to just call this on event construct so it fills it up by default. Oh, and one more thing. We want to, on event begin play, first thing we want to do, let's set this to 100. And I want to set my health to max health on event begin play. So if I happen to change this value, the health will be set to it as well. Now we want to create widget. We're going to choose our widget, and then you'll see that there's a player variable here. The reason that pops up is because we did instance editable and expose on spawn. So that allows it, so when we create the widget, it gives us access to that variable. So we can just do self. We're good to go. Add to viewport. All right, so now another cool thing we can do. Let's bring this back. I'm going to promote this to a variable. Call it widget or player HUD or however you want to do it. Okay, so now on this event, we can call our widget or get our widget variable, and we can call that set HP event. Okay, so every time we take damage, it's going to set our health bar to whatever we need. So we're calling this event here. But you got to make sure you set that widget to a variable first so you can access it. Right? And this is an extremely efficient way of doing this because you don't have wasted calls. You're not ticking anything. It's not on event tick, so it's not ticking every frame. It's only calling when it needs to be called. Okay, so here we have our T. So let's do that. Press T, and you'll see my health goes down. Okay, pretty cool, right? So let's do like a mana. Basically what I want to do is just copy that, paste. I'm going to put it right here. So if you select overlay, hold Control and hit C, and then click on canvas panel, hold Control and hit V, it'll duplicate it. Okay, so I'm going to do mana bar. I want this guy to be blue. Is mana, right? And I'm going to change this to MP. File save. Okay. So now we're going to basically do the same thing. Set MP. My mana bar. Set percent. Here. Okay. Let's go into here and create our variables. So mana max mana. We already have our player variable set up. Get our mana. Get max mana. Divide. And let's call that an event construct 2 so it fills it up. Alright, so now that we know that's working, we'll create a mana event. Mana cost. So we're going to do like a default mana cost event, right? So I'm going to do that, do that. Let's subtract. Or you could do event any damage if you wanted to. Oh, well, no, not really. So this would be like spell cost, right? So on T, we can cast spell, right? So your cast spell event would be there. And then after, we can call our mana cost and plug in however much that particular spell costs. Okay. So imagine there's a whole spellcast system there. Okay. So now we want to get our widget and call set MP. And then we can do like a resource building thing. Oh no, I don't want to set MP there. What am I doing? I want to set MP here. Oh, huh. I have to set my mana. Let me get what I do. Okay, so now when I hit T, our mana goes down. But what's cool is we can do mana regen. And this will trigger our mana regeneration. So what we can do... mana cost. Do we want to call it here? I guess, yeah, we'll call it here. So I want to check is less than... Let's do less than 50%. So max mana divided by 2. So if mana is less than half of max mana, we can set timer by function name. And we're going to call our mana regen. And, 0.5. And we should also clear timer. Paste that. And then here, we're going to set our mana. Add. And this is going to just gradually regen our mana. Okay. So let's try this out. Okay, hold on. So mana +1. 100. Mana cost, set MP. If mana is less than... I'm missing something here. Why aren't you? There's something wrong with my math there, and I'm not braining it right. Oh! No, okay, yes, my math, yeah, this is fine. I just wasn't updating it. There we go. Then we have a mana regen. Let's speed that speed that up a little bit. 5. Alright, pretty cool, yeah. Yeah, so that's everything. Thanks.